Well, what comes with not having a name like Jones or Smith is that Vestilio often gets butchered by Benson. So Carl has instructed me that the first thing I need to do here is breathe. So, funny enough, public speaking is listed as one of the greatest terrors that human beings can experience. I am here to argue that sticking a razor-sharp needle that is about the width of a human hair into human flesh for the first time is equally as terrifying. So please, a round of applause to some of the greatest speakers. So I was at Dimmock, which is one of our off-site clinics, and we lost power during a storm, and I asked my supervisor what I should do, and she said, well, why don't you light a candle? And for me, that was my own personal aha moment. That was my own personal experience where I understood that what I was doing was portable, and it required no batteries, and it required no wall socket or any intricate buttons or dials. I could take it anywhere. And I think realizing the utility of something like this has great value. I think understanding that we can carry this anywhere, the battlefield, the school, impoverished countries, places that are difficult to get in and out of. What we stand at the threshold of is a great potential to carry this medicine forward. I think that the true value of this is immeasurable. And as a great lover of oratory, I want to tell you that I worry that words fail, and I worry that words fade. And I think we stand at a time where we must do more than leave here feeling good about ourselves. We need to make a statement and follow it through on capacity we each take when we leave here. We must act on what we've been given and what we've been shown. We must perform our due diligence, not only to our patients, but to the world at large. What we do has more impact than people realize, and I believe it's time to open their eyes. And I will say this from my heart. I have never seen a group assembled that is more apt and more capable of doing this task than the group I see before me today. I believe that at certain times in history, groups come together and certain people shine. I think this group is one of such, and I think that if there was ever a time to attempt something truly daring, that time is now. I thought we'd start at the top, so with your permission, I'd like to submit the following. Actually, Dear President Obama, it is my pleasure to present for inspection the 2010 graduating class of the New England School of Acupuncture. We are a confederacy of healers, 43 graduates, united under the banner of alternative and complementary medicine. Together, we have performed 412 rotations across 9 sites for a total of over 22,300 treatments. This breaks down to an average of 300 individual treatments and some 850 hours of clinical training per student. But behind these numbers is something greater. Behind these numbers is something sonorous. We speak to you not only through the voice of the practitioners who have gone before us, but through the history, culture, and philosophy of a medicine that spans 4,000 years. It is through the solemn authority of this voice that we communicate to you now with urgency and great candor. We are facing a crisis of epic proportions in this country. Our patients are floundering, crushed under the wheels of caregiver fatigue, mystifying new technology, and the pharmaceutical juggernaut. They come to us exhausted and desperate, raw from surgical procedures, a dizzying array of specialists, and empty diagnoses that contain within them no kernel of truth, no kernel of relief. This may manifest to us as headaches, low back pain, fibromyalgia, and cancer, but the root of our collective illness lies in a fundamental poverty of spirit. Inundated by the social and financial costs of ailments, we have created a society that is promoting sickness, exporting it to other countries, and setting a tragic stage for our children. As a society, we forever seek a magic pill and fail to realize the humbling truth that no such cure exists. The American poet Ralph Waldo Emerson said, "Though we travel the world over to find the beautiful, we must carry it with us, or we find it not." These words reflect a core understanding of the value of the inner universe. To seek a cure outside ourselves without first understanding our own inner environment dooms us to failure. We must rally, not for an overhaul of healthcare, but self-care. We must renew focus on the nature and the power of each person's innate inner doctor. We must foster the understanding that the body follows the mind in every aspect. We must teach our patients that a shift in personal focus and fixation can forever shatter the barriers between health and illness. This is a crisis that cannot be rectified through policy, posturing, or financial bailouts. It is a change that must come from within. We must understand that all medicine, regardless of modality, is an intervention designed to shift the patient from a state of sickness towards one of health, to tip the scales and restore balance to an upset system. Should you choose surgery, chiropractic care, or Chinese herbs, you make these choices based on a personal system of belief that dictates what you trust will work for you and what will not. No matter how astute the care or apt the chemistry, if the patient's personal psyche cannot accept and respond to the intervention, they will not get better. We practice a medicine that knows no disparity between the mind and the body. We show our patients what it feels like to connect with their whole selves and help them understand how emotions, outlook, and attitude intrinsically impact their health. For a time, we reconnect them to a primal memory of a body that is free from affliction. But the memory fades between treatments as all the complications they've been conditioned to believe in and are thusly defined by invariably rush back in. They need to be retrained. They need to be refocused. They need their trust restored in both themselves and the system at large. If we can show them what it feels like to be free of their bondage, cheaply and with no side effects, administered with compassion, human touch, and personal attention, it's often enough to begin a healing cascade that permeates through every facet of their lifestyle. We are finding more and more that it is not the alternative itself that promotes a recovery, but the knowledge that an alternative exists that allows our patients to discover healing within themselves. There is much debate over the mechanism of acupuncture and whether it is a legitimate practice or a mishmash of placebo response, patient expectation, and sleight of hand. And while I can point you to myriad sources of compelling research in our defense, it is easier for me to relate a pragmatic core tenet of our medicine. If it works, we are compelled to use it. Like dark matter, space-time, and the indomitable nature of the human spirit, there are things here that defy our explanation. Like gravity and like love, we know that these things pervade us, even though we cannot see them. Science is the scaffolding we have built to rationally analyze a universe we can scarcely fathom, much less quantify. The idea that one medical system is more potent or professional matters only to the defenders within that system. To the patient, it matters not at all, so long as they believe they are getting proper attention and treatment for their complaints. They are willing to trust, so long as they have hope for relief. Nourishing that hope, calling it out, nurturing its first fragile petals is all that matters. All of the rest is window dressing, every single bit of it. The time to debate the efficacy of acupuncture is over. The time to act is upon us. In fact, you have never needed us more. I'd like you to imagine a world where acupuncture is covered under Medicaid, administered like a prescription benefit. Insurance allows equal coverage of alternative modalities and Western treatments. Incentives and tuition reimbursement are provided to students wishing to go into alternative healthcare fields in both the military and the private sectors. Acupuncture is free for veterans. Basic nutrition and mind-body exercises are taught in the classroom and practiced in the home. The focus of our money and our media is aligned with health and not with sickness. Alternative practitioners are not agents of last resort, but frontline defenders, amassed to catch disorders earlier before the slow slide into chronic illness that is choking the life out of our healthcare system. In this world, health is not an initiative, it is an imperative. Support for this world is growing. In schools just like this one, all across the country, light bearers are emerging. Right now, within the spacious present, a revolution is gathering. Ideas are on the march. Solutions are mobilizing. To quote another American poet, the times, they are a-changing. We have assembled before you to offer our services towards the push that turns the tide. The work is difficult, The task is daunting, but we are here to tell you that it must begin. Mr. President, it is our pleasure to present for inspection the way forward. Sincerely, Jeffrey Bustilio and the 2010 graduating class of the New England School of Agriculture.